Cheers! I'm Amanda Vallone from Roseborough Travel, and I'm here for a travel perk of the day. And I'm talking to you today about Trafalgar tours. So Trafalgar is one of my favorite tour companies, and the reason why is because they add all sorts of extra special perks to their vacation. So my very first trip with Trafalgar was a trip to Northern California. And it was actually a trip that my husband and I had planned to do on our own. We had points for airline tickets, points for hotels, points for car rentals, and we were going to do everything on our own. I love wine, so one of the things that my husband George wanted to do was bring me to Napa Valley, and we wanted to go to San Francisco. So we started breaking down the pricing for how much it would cost to go into San Francisco and do a tour of Alcatraz, and then go to the Muir Woods and do a city tour, as well as do the tour of Chinatown, and then go on our way into Napa Valley, do the Napa Valley wine train, and then on from there and do Big Sur, maybe go into Yosemite National Park, and then on from there just kind of see what we would want to do. So again, we were using points for some of our vacation and then going to pay for the rest of it. So then we started comparing a few different tour companies, and I was looking at Trafalgar. So I have an inside sales rep named Ashley who had come to my office recently and told us that Trafalgar does things like a Be My Guest experience, where you go somewhere special, either to someone's house or to a special place along every single tour, and it's called the Be My Guest experience. And then they also do where they have local favorites and local hidden gems and hidden delights. So I told my husband, let's look at this tour. And we did, and it was so much more than we anticipated. So we really started breaking down the costs, and we thought, well, we won't need to drive, and I'll be able to drink wine and do the tastings, and he'll be able to actually see what it is that we're looking at when we're on this tour, and we'll learn along the way. And we're going into Lake Tahoe, and we're going into a lot of different areas that we weren't planning on going to in the same amount of time. So we planned this Northern California tour, and at the end of the day, we actually spent less money than we ever thought we would by going on a tour than we were going to by using points. So how in the world is that possible? Well, it's because Trafalgar does this group tour all the time, and they get group rates, so they're able to cut the cost because they have 40 people at a time going different places. So a lot of people, especially my age, I'm 30, I'll be 32 this year, don't want to go on escorted group tours, but I don't have a problem with it. I actually thoroughly enjoy it because when I go on vacation, I really want to unwind, and I want to see and learn about what it is that I'm seeing. So we went into San Francisco a day early. We did go to Alcatraz, which was not included in the tour, but we did a special day trip through Viator. And let me tell you, the day trip to Alcatraz was amazing. I highly recommend, do not skip a day trip to Alcatraz if you are going into San Francisco. It was incredible. I didn't even want to go to Alcatraz. George wanted to go. I just kind of was like, who the heck wants to go to a prison? Wasn't into it at all. It was incredible. It was truly incredible. It was a headset tour that was given by the guards and the prisoners, and it was like in all of their voices, and it was really awesome. And then we went to Muir Woods in Sausalito, and the Muir Woods were just spectacular and breathtaking. And of course, we walked the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was really spectacular pre-night. And then we met up with our tour company, Trafalgar, and we did a city tour, as well as we got a tour of Chinatown, which was really awesome. We ate at a super authentic Chinese restaurant. And we had really great food. It was just really awesome experience. And from there we went on into Napa Valley and Sonoma Valley. So we spent a couple days in Napa and Sonoma Valley. Of course, tons of wine tasting, and then the Be My Guest experience was really awesome. So that's what I really want to talk to you about today. We actually went to a winery that is not like an overpopulated winery that every single person has a bottle of their wine on their shelf and it's $10. These bottles of wine are like 50, 60, 70, 80, $90 a bottle. And Trafalgar brought us there. And it is between the valley gorges of Napa and Sonoma Valley. And they brought in chefs from just local chefs that sourced all of the food from within a 10-mile radius. So it was a farm-to-table chef, which is super awesome to me. And all of the food, again, was locally sourced. All of the wine was from right there. We did barrel tastings. We did all of the wine tastings. We learned about the wine. We learned about the grapes. We learned about how they merge the grapes on the vine. We learned about the history. We learned about how they grow. We learned about how the bats keep the mosquitoes away. We learned about everything there is to know about wine and the growing of grapes in the region. It was awesome. It was a private event for us. They shut down their winery just for us, and it was awesome food. Awesome, awesome, awesome food. But on top of that, spectacular views. I mean, we were there at sunset. I'm about to cry. It was so awesome. It popped up on my Facebook newsfeed the other day because it happened for us 4 years ago to just about this day. And the views were just so incredible. We were there at sunset, and it was just beautiful. It was fairy tale-esque. And then on top of it, we had great wine that we didn't pay any extra money for. I mean, it was all included in our tour. It was the Be My Guest experience. And they were just filling our glasses galore. And then all of these tastings of food to go with our wine. And then we went into this private room and we sat down and we were served this delicious meal. And if that wasn't enough, we had a great dessert and everything. And we went back to a wonderful, wonderful hotel in Napa Valley. And then the next morning, I woke up and I took an optional tour. We woke up at like 4 a.m. for a hot air balloon ride above Napa Valley. So George and I love to do optional experiences, and even if it is super expensive, because the hot air balloon ride was pretty pricey, those are like those things that really make a vacation go from extraordinary to over the top. Never can you beat this trip. Superbly the most amazing thing in the world, extraordinary. I came back and talked about this trip, and to this day I talk about my Northern California trip. People ask me, I've been everywhere in the world. I mean, not everywhere, but seriously, I've been to Asia and Europe and Alaska and all over the US, and people ask me what my favorite trip was, and I tell them Northern California was my favorite trip. It's crazy because the experiences were so spectacular. And the word I use, and I used the whole month after I got home, was phenomenal. And I swear to you, everybody in my office wanted to smack me probably, because I use the word phenomenal about 100 times a day. My trip was phenomenal. My trip was phenomenal. My trip was phenomenal. Truthfully, my trip was phenomenal. So we took this hot air balloon ride over Napa Valley, and it was breathtaking. It just was truly superb. You just saw everything, and it was so beautiful and clear as day and quiet and peaceful and heavenly. I highly recommend it to everybody. So we did that, and then we made our way onto Lake Tahoe, and Lake Tahoe was really amazing, and we went to these really interesting lakes that were there that we had a local expert, a local guide tell us all about the lakes and how these little animals were there, and the sea life that was there, that was living, the creatures that were living in there. And like I said, this was like 4 years ago. I don't even remember the story behind it now, but really, really interesting. And then we made our way to Big Sur, Monterey, and we went to Yosemite National Park. Yosemite National Park was wonderful. We stayed right in the Yosemite Lodge, which a lot of other companies stay outside of the park, which you have to drive 30 minutes in and out to get in and out. Trafalgar kept us right in the park. It just was a truly phenomenal trip. So if you're interested in going on a tour, especially of anything with national parks or doing anything with a little bit of extra special in it, I don't recommend trying to piece it together yourself. I've done that 101 times. Some people really don't want organized tours. They don't like being around other people, and I get that. You're not hand-holding the whole time. You have free time. Mine was my anniversary. I get it. You don't want to be around people all the time. You do have free time. And you're not with the same group of people all the time either. You kind of like break off. You go to dinner on your own. When you go and sightsee, you kind of like can go off on your own. So you do get free time. It is nice. But it's also nice to travel in a group too. So I highly recommend, like, give it a chance, look at it, because I can't tell you anything bad about it. I love it. And it's not an age thing either. I think that a lot of people older than me will go on tours because they're more open-minded to it, but not because it's for older people. I just think that they're smarter sometimes and open-minded to it, where people my age and younger maybe just aren't open-minded to it. And there are tour companies that are focused to the 18 to 35 range grouping. So if you are within the 18 to 35 range grouping and open-minded to it, we can focus you to that too. But like I said, this was a post about Trafalgar. They're my favorite tour company, so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about them and one of my favorite experiences with them. Thanks.